Okay. Uh, my parents are lovely people. I love them very much. Um, they make questionable financial decisions, and they've always made questionable financial decisions. Um, a lot of people in the United States, my parents especially, have an issue when it comes to kind of living above their means. So people will earn money, spend money, earn money, spend money, earn money, spend money, which is just not good. So my parents have historically not really been that good with money. Um, but despite issues, any issues we've ever had have been just them making mistakes. I don't think they're bad people. I think they're good people. They try their best. For instance, my mom, as much as she hates herself for it, let me stay in Omaha to finish high school, which apparently was really important because I guess my high school was really good. Even though she moved out when I was 15, my dad let me stay in Omaha, even though he moved when I was 16. I know for both of them, moving away from me and not making me go to Florida with them when I was 16 was difficult for both of them, very difficult for both of them. And but obviously, I guess it ended up being massively beneficial for me. Um, yeah, so I know they made a lot of sacrifices to blah blah blah, all this bullshit. Okay, you understand, whatever. Um, the so 5 years ago, I think I told you on stream. Around 5 years ago, my mom got diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and she's kind of had a slow progression. Like she's still doing okay today, but I was chatting a few days ago because Nathan and I been hanging out with my parents, going over the house or whatever, and I find out that my mom is getting to more challenging stages of her disease. Not super horrible yet, but if I had to guess, probably in like 2 or 3 years, probably be kind of bad. So I'm trying to figure out what my dad's plan is, what my mom's plan is, and everything going on. And we're at a where am I at here? Jesus, there's like random. There's like two things I need from you guys, or two things I was gonna ask. The long story short is part of the motivation for me taking my kid contract and everything is basically what I told my parents is as long as they can satisfy a couple conditionals, what I said is I would pay off. I won't give a number, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. If my dad will retire early and then hang out with my mom for a couple years while she's still like decently mentally functioning, so that she can do all of her stuff. There's a couple of these conditionals though. One is a thing that I need help with. One is my parents have really big hearts when it comes to animals, and they will not let me give any of these cats to a pound because my mom doesn't want them killed, and it's destroying their lives. They've gotten it down from 23 to 13 cats. All right, I told them they can keep two. All right, if you live in like the Miami, Florida area, or if you live in Florida at all, if you can take care of a cat because you like a cat and you won't eat it or kill it or whatever, these cats have, pretty sure they have all their vaccinations, all their, like they're healthy. I think one is like a neurological issue, but like they've got all their shots. They've all been, I think, spayed and neutered and everything. If you can take care of a cat and if you live in Florida, email me at my contact email and I'll try to like arrange something. It would be super helpful because the alternative is I'm taking these cats out in the back and I'm gonna shoot them one at a time because my mom is destroying her life. They're spending like $1,000 a month taking care of these stupid animals, okay? Which drives me crazy, okay? So if you don't want me to shoot the cats and put them on 4chan, okay? If you're capable of adopting a cat, putting in a loving household, blah, 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 and you're okay like sending my mom pictures if she asks to make sure that everything is okay, that would be helpful. That's the first thing. And then you'd have to drive to pick them up, I guess. This is down in my parents live down in like the Homestead area. Number one. The second thing is, so I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be doing this yet, but I plan on it. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to start making calls to a bunch of these creditors. If anybody knows anything about like negotiating debt that you think would be helpful, if there are any tips or tricks, if you can shoot me an email on that, that'd be great. I think my plan right now is to be relatively honest. I think my parents owe, I think it's around $80,000 to $100,000 of credit card debt. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call the creditors one at a time, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm the son of, these two people. My parents are having health issues. I'm willing to settle this debt. If you do it for half, I'll pay it off completely. Otherwise, you're probably never going to see a dime because their estate can't pay you out once they pass. I don't know if I can get like credit card companies to actually settle that way. I don't know if it'll do it, but if you have like tips or tricks, or if you're like, oh, well, if we try to settle this or that, do this or whatever, if you know any of these, shoot me an email and let me know. Does it have to be ownership, or would you be okay with people fostering the cats? You could foster my... Dude, honestly, I don't give a eat the cat. Okay, my parents need to get rid of these cats. Don't actually do that, though. They're just way too many cats. I'm glad they got down to like 12 or 13. But, hold on real quick. I don't want to get into big debates. Destiny, the problem is you inherit the debt, so if you clear the minister health, you might shoot yourself in the foot. Just as a real quick thing, you absolutely do not inherit liabilities from your parents unless you've co-signed a loan. That is absolutely not true. The only kind of debt you kind of sort of inherit is that when your parents pass on, they have an estate, and that estate will have to pay out creditors before the estate passes to you. But the debt doesn't actually pass to you one-to-one. Do you have a power of attorney set up for your flux before the condition gets worse? I've thought about that. My dad is still in decent health. Like, my dad could theoretically live for another 20, 30 years. I have no idea. He's fine. It's just, Is the debt in collections? No. I think there might be a payment or two behind on some things, but I think for the most part, their debt is okay. Like, they pay it, Is it not better to pay their minimums for the rest of their lives? It's too mentally, that's going to be way too much for me to manage, like 15 different credit cards, every single... I'm not going to do that. Serious question. If someone wants to foster such adopt a cat, do they have to be in Florida if they can pick it up and take it out of state? You don't have to, but again, we live down in Miami, so if you're coming from even Georgia, that's going to be like a 6 or 7 hour drive. What's to stop your parents from racking up debt again? This is a conversation. It's a serious conversation I have to have with my dad. I've thought about doing a credit freeze, and I've thought about asking for power of attorney, but I don't know how that conversation is going to go. I'm not sure. The biggest fear I have is that I do this. The total amount is about $300,000. The biggest fear I have is that I give him this money, and then like 6 months from now, my dad is like, listen, we just want to get this thing, but I got a part-time job. It more than covers it. It's totally fine. We're going to blah, 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 blah. I'll kill myself if they're like, I'm going to kill myself if they rack up that again after paying everything off. Yeah. But I don't think he will, because it's a good opportunity. It's literally him to retire, right? It should be fine. Like I said, they've just made some bad decisions.